Hello and welcome to Healing Space with Gently Healing. I am Jen Tilley and I am super excited to be here with you guys. Hello, I want to look at the comments and see who's all in here today. And I want to also say welcome to any new viewers. We're doing something a little different today because we're also streaming this live on Facebook as well as live on YouTube. So there's some different things happening today. So I want to say hello to Willow and Patty and Kevin. Gosh, it's so good to see you guys. And yes, Patty, you are right on cue with us. I was going to talk today about the Lionsgate Portal, and I thought it would be really awesome for us to all come together today and do a meditation as we are entering this Lionsgate portal currently. Some of you are already there as it starts on August 8th, and I know like Sammy, she's in England, and so we definitely have some people that are already there. So I thought that would be so much fun to be able to do with a meditation with all of us and raise our consciousness and send that out and fertilize that out into our realities and awaken the masses and ourselves again and again. Yes. Well, hello, Facebook user. Just welcome. It doesn't say your name in there, so you would need to announce yourself and your names to who is here. And yes, so gosh, I would love to hear how all of you guys have been this last week. It has been quite an awesome adventure, I would say, always. And I like to take a moment to mention the music. If you enjoyed that at the beginning of this, which I always do, Robert Howley, who is often in here with us, he ended up taking one of our meditations and put that together for us to be able to listen to. And I just love, oh, you are, much love. Yes, to you. And thank you so much again for that music. And it's like every week I'm like, which one do I want to do? And I kind of have been doing an every other because there's two of those out there, if for those of you that don't know. So anyway, yeah. So it has been an awesome week. Lots has gone on. I would say, hello, Lucinda. Nice to see you. Much love. Really, it was a week of learning about setting boundaries, definitely speaking my truth, working on self-love, finding, just that balance within that space. I had an opportunity also this week. I went on somebody else's Facebook Live, and I'm going to be doing a little segment on one of their shows, and I'll get you more information about that too. Just a small, 15-minute segment on Tuesdays at 6. And so more information will be coming with that. It's just been really rad to be able to reach out to all of you guys and be able to try new things and, get the messages out there that you're not alone and navigating this world and where we're at today. And also, the many different dimensional planes that are opening up to so many of us and what that all means. And this is just like that really cool, safe spot to come in and be able to work on healing ourselves. My biggest goal is to teach people how to heal themselves. And through that, I get to learn how to heal myself even more. And I think that is just a journey that will be until, the day we leave these physical vessels. I don't think that just stops. And yeah, it is very cool. So, gosh, let's see. There was this time where one of the greatest lessons, one of the good lessons that I learned this week about setting boundaries, for example, I was doing this show and things were just kind of, how things can kind of get a little clustered, and we did it at a park, and next thing you know, the park people were coming, and there was kind of chaos, if you will, and learning to just navigate that plane and to watch other people and how they navigate it and to see the things that we attract into our lives. And there was this man, he was a jazz musician. He was so rad. His name was Moses. Of course, he was there to part the Red Seas. And he just had this moment where he valued his time so immensely. And it's it's not often that you see that. In the sense that, he was 78 years old and he's like, I don't know how long I have, and every day and every moment I have is valuable. And, also not putting in more effort than another person is putting in, and learning what that balance is, but also doing it with love, and then allowing the space to be spoken in truth, and what then could be causing the chaos to cause the unease in a situation. And it was just actually really cool to go through. I live a more isolated life, and that's why I love getting on the podcast and coming and being able to hang out with all of you guys. So when it's like, I get out into the world and I get to watch how it operates. I get to watch how it operates in a way that I understand that I'm a magnet. So whatever I am putting out there is a reflection of me. And it's not just a reflection of me, but it's what I magnetize to my life. And I talk about this. I talk about how when we speak and our thoughts that we create are literally geometric patterns of like waveforms that are being sent out into our realities. And that is what then is being attracted back to us. And so it is just really, like I'm saying, just, I guess living life has been pretty rad lately. And just seeing how I do it. And again, living an introverted and also an extroverted life at the same time is, it's a cool balance. I think that's my biggest thing that I want to learn to balance. I find that I'm more introverted these days than I would have said like 10 years ago. I would have said I was way more extroverted than I was introverted. But I don't know if that was necessarily true, because there's a lot of lies we tell ourselves. And when we look at the past and what we have of our memories, they're just not necessarily, they're just not they're not accurate, and they're just based off of the emotional lenses of where we were at that point. And so today, I really want that beautiful balance of being that introverted extrovert at the same time. And and like I was saying, getting to meet this rad jazz musician, there's just something about musicians that just, or just people that are in that process of artistic creation. And I guess speaking specifically to jazz musicians, they just have this way of just flowing. And what I hadn't realized when this show was going on, and my friend Doug, he was like singing, and he's just really awesome. He played Sammy Davis Jr. in like this show, and he traveled all around the nation, and that's how I actually ended up meeting him. I got to see him in the show, and I talked to him, and I've just kind of chatted with him for many years, and just what I hadn't realized is that when he was singing for this performance, Moses, who he hadn't seen in 36 years, was just like playing the piano the whole time, so perfectly tuned to what he was singing, not even knowing what Doug was singing. And then when he went on and I was then getting interviewed, there was like piano music that Moses was playing. And it was just so rad to witness someone just going with the flow, man. Just going with the flow. And that was something, again, what you're putting out there is also what I'm putting out there, because you're all reflections of me. Oh, look at my throat chakra right there. You're all reflections of me. The thought that was going through my head when my throat chakra did that, oh my gosh, Micah. Hi, what? Micah, this is like my brother, man. Literally, oh my gosh, it is so exciting to see you in here. I was just thinking about you again. Another amazing hip hop artist, another artist, and knowing what it means to go with the flow, man. This guy can get into the flow state with his music. Gosh, how cool is that? That's just, I love you, man. How awesome. Oh, what did you say? Podcast away the bad vibes. Yes, okay, we'll get all those bad vibes away. In this space is where we bring about that creation. We create our realities, man. And in this one right now, what we're creating together is that positive vibe so that we can go with the flow and we continue magnetizing more of that to us. And yeah, so this is awesome and exciting. Oh, I love this so much. This is really cool. Yeah, Micah is the father of my niece and nephew, Kingston and Sophia. Sophia, I got an opportunity to name. And Kingston has a really rad name too. We in Washington, there's like the Kingston Ferry, and then also my grandmother had cats named Kingston and the last name Beauregard, which ended up being my Kingston's full name. Their last name is Beauregard too, and so my niece and nephew have really rad, powerful names. And I've talked about namesakes on other podcasts, how there are blessings and our curses. That again, we spell our realities, and our names mean something, and they create something in our realities. So when I had an opportunity to name Sophia, it's wisdom, man. It's wisdom, and all like the most amount of wisdom, like the Akashic records flowing through that state. And anyway, so that's like a little share into my little family history. Oh, it's focus of energy, but it's also Jamaican. Jamaican also. Yeah, my sister is actually half Jamaican and half white. We're Swedish and Norwegian is that part. And so, yeah, so Jamaican. I didn't realize Kingston was Jamaican. That's rad. There were so many elements to Kingston's name coming along. So, anyway, so creating our realities, going with the flow state. It's important, man. It is. The world is chaos, and it's. Oh, that was another thing that I kind of got. We have one thing I always used to say and have said for a long time is the one guarantee we have in life is change. Everything is always changing. It's never the same. Not even 5 seconds ago is it exactly the same as it was. And so I kind of just indoctrinated that. But as I say with your belief systems, always question everything it is you believe. Even if it seems so sound, just do it again and again, and more will be revealed. And there is the state that encompasses and holds that space of change, this world of change. But there is the one consistent part that is never changing, that is holding on to the part that is always changing. So it's both. Again, in our realities, it's a dualistic binary system. It's a both. And so this week, that was like this epiphany that I'd had. I'm like, mind blown, because I was just like, I think I was always like, ooh, this logical thing that I'm throwing out to everything. Everything is changing. Some people are like, oh, they'll never change, but they are in so many ways. And yeah, so that is really rad. I'm gonna read some comments. I am a recluse for sure. Kevin, yes. But, I wonder, because you're so musically inclined, where it's like, yeah, it's just that's cool. I share that a bit with you too, as I was saying, more introverted at this point. But I think there's a lot to be said about that, and being comfortable with being alone. I definitely was not that way for a very long time. A lot of fear of being by myself. I've shared with you before, there was like a 5-year period of time in my life where I drank a lot. I don't drink anymore, but this 5-year period of time, like, I would drink the most when I was by myself. It was like the last thing I wanted to do was be by myself, see myself. I didn't know what I liked. I was filled with fear. And I always admired those that just like got it and could be so comfortable in their own skin to be with just themselves. And so I sought after these types of people. And a lot of these people also were like mountain people and like badass, like adrenaline sport people, or people that got really deep into their musics and people that created. And I just like was able to find these outlets and be taught, like learn from other people. And so I think that's rad, Kevin, and I love that you pop out and you've come on the Expanded Understanding Network and talked with us and shared your music with us, and so you're not so reclused anymore, and I love that. I love that you're showing yourself to us because we're all one, man, and what you have learned and what you can teach us is so important, and all of you guys out there, every one of us is a genius, and that's one of the main points of this show is awakening that. And talking about the Lionsgate portal today is awakening more and more. A lot of people are like, oh, I went through my awakening. And what I found when I went through an awakening is that we are constantly going through phases of awakening after awakening after awakening. It's not just one major one, though I've had significant ones that I was convinced that was it. And no, it is like a process. And so when you step outside and you're like, I'm a recluse, but I'm about to go and make myself present, it's like jumping out of a freaking airplane, man. And it's rad. It's fun and it's awesome. And when that parachute opens and you are received so well and realize that you're, I like that. It's you're flying through the air, you know. I don't know how many of you guys have been skydiving before. I went on a period of time, and it wasn't like I wrote out a bucket list. It was like I just knew the things that I wanted to do. And again, we're creators of our realities. And so I just thought about things that I've always wanted to do. Like I've always wanted to go skydiving. I've always wanted to ride on a hot air balloon. I've always wanted to do that polar ice dip in the snow. Skinny dipping, you know, like literally those kinds of things where it's scary and you're meeting yourself. And these are things that I did. I put it out there and I was able to go skydiving. And when we were looking at the different like skydiving packages, it was like we decided to, I did it with a friend, and we decided to do the highest jump that we were able to do, which was 11,500 feet. And it was awesome. We were so I'll just share this story. So we get there and it's incredible. And my guy, because you jump tandem for the first several jumps that you do, and my guy happened to be the one that taught all of the other skydivers. So there was just this semblance of relax that I had with it. But this also meant that we were the last ones to jump, which was just awesome, because you got to see like 10 people go out of the plane before you just get sucked out. And the second to last person had been my friend, and so he's sliding me down and he flips me on my side, and we're sliding down this plane like on our sides, and he's like, are you ready for this? Watch this. And next thing I know, I watch my friend just get sucked out of the plane. Just sucked out. And I was like, holy shit. And next thing I know, it's our turn and we get sucked out of the plane and we're just flying through the air. And I'm just seeing the world through eyes that I've never seen before. Just like that fish-eyed lens. It looks just like you see in the pictures, pretty much, that curve, that fish eye. It was so rad. And then we flew down to where my friend was, and then the parachute caught, and then we floated down, just being able to watch my friend. And then he goes in my ear, he's like, do you like roller coasters? Which I do. And I'm like, yes. So he ends up doing all of these crazy, awesome roller coaster moves up in the air. And gosh, even now to this day, like I still feel the excitement of that experience. See, our memories are so powerful. It's like I can still be there in my mind, even if I'm not literally flying through the air. I'm partially flying through the air at the same time, simultaneously telling you this story. But, you know, had I not put it out there and said to the universe, I want this, and it's expensive to go skydiving. It was paid for me. It was like, here's this gift. And I'm like, that was amazing. And what was cool about the place that I got to go skydiving, at first we were supposed to go in Sedona, But the weather got so terrible, and even a helicopter they ended up crashing in the area, and they're like, absolutely not, we're not going up in that weather. And so even if there was a moment where I thought I was going to lose the experience of skydiving, we ended up getting to do it up in Washington. And what was really cool about doing it at that spot is I used to live in Snohomish, Washington, and I used to watch the skydivers and the hot air balloons that were in this area, and for years. And I was just like, gosh, I wish someday. And so the first time I ever got to do it was like, nope, this is where you're doing it. And so if you're ever up in Washington, I highly recommend Snohomish, Washington to go and have a hot air balloon or a skydiving experience. And the other time with the hot air balloon that I was able to do, what was so awesome about it is the name of the hot air balloon that we were on literally said bucket list on the balloon. And I was like, gosh, we're creators, man. We create our realities. Anything can happen. And it's just like Micah was saying here, is like clear away those bad vibes, get them away. And those are the things that are going to be preventing us from being able to have the things that we truly want for our lives. And taking the time to say, I want to do this. I want to experience this. So what does it take in order to do that? And whether you know the exact steps, it's what do you need to do as a person? And that starts with here. It starts with the mind. And then it starts with silencing it and learning how to do that, stopping those looping, incessant thoughts that are going over and over again, learning how to be the governor of your mind and being the observer to go, oh, there's those looping thoughts again, and just allow them to pass through. This was something I learned. Like, if any of you have ever had like addictions or anything like that you've gone through, there is this is the right word recovered from that, or you stopped having that addiction? It's funny when I struggle or question my words. Why do I buy into these distractions? So with minding. That it's a choice. It's a choice over and over again. And when you stop feeding it, like when you're going through an addiction and you're saying, I'm going to stop doing this, your thoughts are an addiction. You're addicted to the chemicals in your body. It's not just like externalized, here's the alcohol, here's this drug. It literally is addictions that are going on within your vessel. But if you stop at, let's say, an external addiction, you'll watch it. You'll go, oh, there's that thought again, but we're not feeding into it. And things that I did was like drive other directions, not drive past the liquor store, and not do these things, making choices in order to make the effective changes and retrain my cellular structure, because every cell in our body has consciousness. Every cell in our body we train with the habituation so that it can just enact, so we're not thinking about all of that. It just does it. So it is our job in order to recode that and to stop it. And it's the same with our minds. And that, I mean, it is especially with what's going on with our minds. And so doing things like coming here and watching this podcast, and we all come together with our meditations, we entangle with one another. We come together and we share the information that we have learned so far. And it's a free-flowing amount. And it's not just that, but there's an infinite amount of information. All the Akashic records, all the information is at our fingertips. And all of us are geniuses, as I was saying before. And to be able to awaken those gifts within ourselves, we must be the disciplinarian and have the discipline in our lives to have the governing of our minds. When we're trying to control our external realities, we're externalizing something that is not going on internally. It's this dualistic reality. So if you're externalizing the control, you're internalizing the lack of control. But it is crucial for us to do it inverse to that. When we have control of ourselves, we build the confidence within ourselves to navigate whatever situations come our way. Because the world is in a chaos, right? And I have that image, right, when I'm speaking to you, of like, they have, it's like a meme out there. There's this monk crossing the street in like something like New York City, and it's just these busy, busy streets, and you can see it. And he is just peacefully walking across the street, just in his own peaceful, balanced state. Doesn't matter what's going on in that external reality. I also had this like thought where, again, thinking about the monks, I like this this story of two monks that were walking along a path, and they came to the edge of the river, and this woman needed to cross the river. Well, if you know anything about monks, they're not allowed to touch women. They're not allowed to interact with women, but this woman needed help. So one of those two monks picked up this woman and helped her cross the river and just set her down and walked along the way. This other monk that witnessed this account was walking along with him, and miles down the road, he finally says, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe you did this. Why would you pick up that woman when you know blah, 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 that we're not supposed to do that?" And the other monk looks at him and he said, "Well, I put her down way back there." And that's what we do so often. Things that we need to let go of. Like, he came to a position where he had to question what it was that his beliefs were, which were, I'm not supposed to do this, but in this situation, I need, like, my choice is to help this person that needs it. And then once you've made it, you're confident with that decision and you leave it behind there and you walk on. It's not beat yourself up because you ended up doing something that went against this belief structure that you put in. And I just love that. It's not a parable, and it's not a koan. I don't remember what those are called at the very moment, but something along those lines. And we learn through stories and metaphors, and this is one that I use all the time. We haven't really been taught the skills on what it means to actually let things go. And so in balancing ourselves and being able to stop those looping thoughts and those patterns that go on with our minds are doing things like these mindful meditations, being able to learn how to let go. Because once those thoughts start, it will not stop unless you stop it. And it's easy to not see it because you do phenomenal things within your mind. You have your conscious mind that then puts it into the subconscious so that you're not thinking about it. Again, it's not just into the subconscious mind because it has to be stored somewhere. And that's where I talk about if you stuff your issues, they go into your tissues. That's what causes our diseases and our illnesses. So it's really an important place to start. And I just love that Western society is really taking off with the fact that we started practicing the yogic practices and meditations. It's just now learning what that actually means. It's very fascinating because that information came, like, I used to sublet out of a yoga studio in Bellevue, Washington. I had this great place that I worked out of, and I would watch all of these like different people come in all the different levels. But what would happen is there would be this massive like kind of kundalini awakening that was going on within this world, but no one understood, in America especially, what that meant. And so it looked like kind of going crazy, but a flexible body equals a flexible mind, and a flexible mind equals a flexible body, and da-da-da-da-da, and it's like this balance. And we're learning more of that today, and we're learning the tools of that, and that's what we're gathering this information, and platforms like this allow us to pull people from all over the world to be able to share this and learn, and I get to share with you what I've learned. I'm gonna just take a quick moment and just gather, like, look over here at the comments and see. That's interesting. You were talking about skating, Kevin, because skydiving. Oh, here we go. I quit skating because of the potential of damaging my hands. So imagine. Andrew Schultz says best case scenario with skydiving is you live. Yeah, it's funny. We've been looking at a lot of skate videos. when I was younger, I totally had the crushes on all the skater boys. And so I really learned a lot about skateboarding. Not that I knew how to skateboard other than like skating straight. But yeah, there's a lot of injuries that come with that, and challenging yourself. But again, I think it's a really, really cool to try new things, and whether it's through different like adrenaline sports like skateboarding or rock climbing or even skydiving. And I've just met some of the most incredible people in the world at that stuff. I've had an opportunity to work with them. I worked with one mountain climber that had climbed like the highest peak in this area that without oxygen, and he ended up getting frostbite on his foot and had to climb out 40 miles with his frostbitten feet. And I've gotten an opportunity to work with a lot of really, really neat people, and just kind of what that means, and awakening, and that belief in self, and that survival, and how that means and adapts to our life, because we don't. It's not so much about, again, externalizing our reality to that. In fact, I found so many of the people that did those adrenaline sports, they were actually very afraid. They had a lot of fear, and this is where they were like going to meet themselves. And I understood that, because then I went on that same journey where I'm like skydiving and trying these other adrenaline things for myself. And I found that I was externalizing that. And then until I built that strength in myself, whether I could navigate any kind of situation that comes my way. And the reality is I've proved that again and again. We've all been through our hardships, and we're still here. So it's pretty cool. Oh, Jacob's here. Hello, Jacob. It's so good to see you. And it's called doing the right thing and helping each other. Yep. And hello to you. I'm so glad. That is so good. So good. Gosh. So, meeting ourselves, working on the mindful meditations. I talk about it. It's not necessarily easy, but I would say it's just that constant discipline. And then when we're creating our realities, like I talk about creating your perfect day before you go to bed, like writing out what it is that you want your perfect day to be. And again, it's not, I want to be on a beach somewhere. That can be part of your 10-year plan. But I mean, what is a perfect day? Is it your children acting this certain way? Is it how you are interacting with the people out there? Is it laughter? Is it like, for me, I love doing body work. So sometimes I'll write in there like, like being able to do some body work today or something like that. And next thing I know, the clients will just start coming, and I'll be able to do these things that I just like absolutely enjoy. I do like a lot of courses and do a lot on the phone, but sometimes it's just really rad to get my hands on people. And I'm just able to create that. I'm able to create that when I write it out and I envision it. And then before I go to bed, that's part of my well, dreaming is interesting. I honestly, based off of what I've seen, I think that we literally pretty much die when we go to sleep, and we reawaken and we're rebirthed into this reality every morning. And again, what is your mind doing? I had this couple days ago, I was thinking about it, man. I used to be the worst morning person. Like literally, just don't even, like, it was like the demons would just be coming out of me. And I'm just like, give me a minute. And it took me doing this work and being disciplined, saying, I don't want to wake up that way anymore. I don't want to wake up and just not want to interact and talk to people that I love and I care about. I want to be able to wake up to being that better version of myself. And it took that. So it's upon awakening, check yourself where you're at. Take a moment. My throat chakra is loving this today. Take a moment with yourself and stretch and move and see how that body is. And again, you don't know where you went when you were dreaming. We travel to different dimensional realities. Information is coming to us. Our dreams are super rad, man. If you are a dreamer, know that your dreams are only dealing with your futures and your past. It's never talking about the now. This is why I kind of think that all the world is a dream. And there's quite a lot of supporting information out there for that concept. But you don't know where you were at when you were dreaming. You could have had the most horrific nightmares, and now you're coming back and you're in this post-traumatic state. And you are the one that brings about that self-love. You. It's not your partner. You can't feel what your partner's giving you until you give it to yourself. That age-old quote, you can't love anybody until you love yourself. It is the truth. It is probably the truest quote I've seen. It really is. I really don't think I found a truer quote out there. And I've experienced it. I've experienced the difference of what it was like to stand atop a mountain peak in Machu Picchu and know that I loved somebody immensely. And not be able to feel it because I couldn't feel my self-love. I'd spent years and years demolishing myself and hating on myself. And I was blown up 70 pounds heavier than I am now because I stuffed my issues. So the things I talk about are the things that I learned how to not just heal myself, but I've been doing this work for over 20 years now and gathering more and more and more data. It's been my life's mission. It's what I'm passionate about. And I guess it's my own art form. And so learning to love ourselves. And that starts when you open your eyes in the morning. And you be kind. Because you're awesome. You really are. But no, you're both. You're as shitty as you are awesome. It's duality until you balance yourself. And you find a center point where it's neither good nor bad. And that's something that you learn when you learn to manage those thoughts. And you take your power back and you call all your power back to you. And stop giving other people your energy. I find it interesting, when you go through, like I was thinking about myself, and I've shared this before, but when you're having an argument with somebody and you're like, I need to go just take a walk. And oftentimes we walk away and we're thinking about how we wanted to act or what we would have said or what we would say to that person. And we just start having these different conversations. But when we go and we walk away from something and not meet it for where it is now, we're doing this other weird semblance of control where we're putting the person that isn't in front of us anymore, that we might be having that conflict with, in a position where you're being, it's not real. It's not real. It's a false reality. And so learning how to be able to just be in this reality now and being able to have a silenced mind. This is how I get to talk with animals and be able to have intuition and be able to see different aspects, more awareness of this life, is when my mind is quiet. I love it. I love that process. Yeah, and Patty, I totally agree with all your beautiful. You're a very beautiful woman, and I'm very glad that you're here. We can be both, man. There's times that I can show up and I'm the type of person that needs to eat at a certain time. If I wait too long to eat, I get very shaky. And my world feels very, very foggy and clouded. And if I ever get myself to that point, I'm not showing up as the best version of myself. I can't hear you right. I can get kind of frustrated because it's a weird world. My mind is it's clouded. And that I did that to myself. And these are the things that I had to learn. I used to do things more to hurt myself, and now I've learned how to unravel the habituations of the different clever ways I found to do it. And things like not eating, for example, would have been one of them. And so watching myself and watching what I'm doing all the time is crucial. But I can have moments that are not graceful and not beautiful because, again, I'm still navigating that. But I have way less fear today. I know through meeting myself and daring to try things different, working with different plant medicines, I definitely would say that there is a lot of great teachers out there. Something that I was thinking very much about is And it's very interesting when you're writing out, like, 10 years from now, who do you want to be? I was kind of doing this with myself a little while ago, and I started taking different people that I've learned, like, from history, and I was saying, oh, I like this about them, and I like this about them. And then I would take, in my mind, like, what would they do if, I guess where else would I be doing that but my mind, so we can laugh at that. But I would think about how they would show up. What would they be doing? And what could I learn from that? And there was this point where sometimes I would find out something about somebody I was admiring. I'm like, ooh, but that right there, and I could see their shadow or something, and there's the judgment. And I'm sitting there going, how can you ever learn from somebody if you're always finding something that they're also not doing very well? And it's not about pedestaling someone. That's very important because you are a powerful being and you're calling your highest self, your light being back. It's being able to see the things that you admire about others. They're projections of your consciousness. Each one of those, like if you think about the trillions of cells that you have going on, and no, some of them aren't very enlightened. Some of the cells you have in your body just aren't. So of course you're going to run into somebody that's not very enlightened and they're talking stupid shit. And that's okay, but there's certain, we're all geniuses. They all have something to teach you. So, yeah, the journey of digging is for sure. And, it's interesting, like with plant medicines is, they could be very scary, and you don't necessarily. It's really. I've never had a bad psychedelic experience. I've had psychedelic experiences. Well, I think we are in a psychedelic experience currently, like the most psychedelic experience, and that's this one, and that we really live on the fringe of psychedelics. So I want to explain that. And here in this fringe reality of a psychedelic reality, I mean, it just is. We see this projection. We can stand in the same room and say, yes, that is a table, and we're both seeing the same things. Like, it gets pretty weird out there when you start to really break down what's really happening. But with psychedelics, like, I guess the hardest thing I've had with them was probably like the purging aspect that can come with it, where you can feel pretty nauseous, but know that this is also teaching you that different ways that we let things go is through our bodily functions, whether it's through farting, puking, pooping, like any of that is actually your body's way of purging. That's why you can go take a shit and be like, oh God, I feel so much better, is because you literally unloaded your shit. And I learned that when I was in the Amazon working with the Shipibo tribe. Like, I knew when I was going there that we were going to be working with medicines that would make me very, very ill, and that I most likely wouldn't come back as the same person, and that was okay. And that was important to get. That the person that I had become at that point was miserable and sad and attracting things that I didn't want in my life. And I was going down very much a downward spiral. I had been trying all different programs, all different psychiatric programs, learning. Like, how can I do this? And it really was traveling the world, and the Shipibo tribe is awesome, and I'm very grateful for that work. But there is, working with plant medicines, it's not easy to do on a daily basis. It's different than like something like alcohol or different drugs that are there that you can end up doing every day. But again, like alcohol, I also look as a medicine. I look at alcohol as like tequila, for example. They created that the spirit, good old Al Ghul, brings out the things that we're repressing. The medicine brings out the things that we're repressing. That's why we can be a happy drunk or a shitty drunk. It literally is bringing out the things that we're storing inside. And it's a give and take. Like it's like by interacting with these different medicines there, it's understanding that you're working with a specific energy, a special specific energy. The alcohol, the alcohol is part of the take snake. He takes the experience but shows you what you're repressing. He brings it out for you. But know that that is you. You're able to either heal that angry part of you, or you're able to see that you don't need these medicines in order to be that. It shows you what you where you're at now. It's very, very interesting medicine. And I've explored a wide variety. I feel that, God, I just want to live the happiest life I can find. I think this is, or have. Not even find it. It's not about finding it. It's already here. And that's recognizing that it's already here right now and it exists within me. And it's learning what it is that I like to do and going back to, like being able to be alone with yourself. Learning to play that native flute was one of the most awesome things I could have ever done, really, for myself. It brought out something within that just helped me get outside of myself and go with the flow. I remember standing in the jungle and this curandero came up to me and he just handed me this. This needs to be yours. This needs to be yours. And I'm like, what am I going to do with the flute? I mean, it's really rad. And then I imagined it maybe being on my mantle, and I imagined even dusting it on my mantle and just showing this really rad flute that maybe I blow into every once in a while. But there was just something about it. I walked away from that curandero and I just ended up turning around and going back and going, no, I need to go back and get that flute for some reason. And so I did. I went back and I bought it. And for Peruvian prices, it was pretty expensive, to be honest. But it was worth every single penny. Like, it was, energetic exchange was nothing. And I just sat with it and I learned to play it. And then I had a dog at the time when I brought it home that would end up literally singing with me when I would play this flute. She would literally have this vibrato. She would just when I'd hit the high notes, all of a sudden she'd just howl, and it would ooh, it was so beautiful and so rad. And that makes me think when I'm saying this, with the Lionsgate Portal, Sirius is at the biggest and brightest, and Sirius is the dog star. Such a powerful, powerful energy that dogs bring to us. And it just was really, really cool to be able to share that with something else and then be able to have it grow and be able to share that with you guys today. And I'm just going to glance and see what Patty said over here. You were saying something to Jacob there. I don't either laugh when I go back and say what this. Let's see. Kevin says, although certain personality traits do not belong on plant medicines. Oh, sure. Yeah, it's a dimensionality, where you're at, and again, with working with the plant medicines, it's good to have somebody that you can talk to about it. When you, let's say, salvia came to mind, and you're taken to a whole other psychedelic dimensional reality. Salvia is a diviner sage, literally divining, and it's a sage. It's sage. It's the high spiritual energy, and it's showing you. It's teaching you things. And where you're at, and everything has meaning, and it's a great cosmic joker. Let me tell you, sometimes it can seem like a very scary experience to some people, because it's like the universe. There's no right or wrong or good or bad, and yeah, some people, it's a hard thing for the mind to wrap itself around. So definitely there's certain medicines that, it's nice to have some guidance to understand what that is, and then also what the meaning is afterwards. I've definitely had people that I worked with that didn't tell me exactly what had happened until a year later, and it's gosh, it would have been great if we could have talked about that, because these lights would have been shined, but at the same time, time's not real. So the answers come to you when they do. So, Yeah, the different plant medicines, very interesting. If you're on certain SSRIs and different medications, you just can't use this. You can't use this plant medicine, but or it's not recommended. But there's lots of tools, and I honestly believe that you can get this stuff without the plant medicines. They're just tools that are there that you can utilize if you want. But I know that a lot of me, for like a lot of times, is more like, no, I want to figure that out on my own. I definitely got that, like, you know, like with alcohol, like when you take a couple drinks, there was just this sense of like, oh, this load. I felt like it would just help me take off. And for me, I want to know how to do that for myself. I don't want something else that I'm externalizing, bringing in to my reality to do that. I want to be able to have that consistently in my life without that. So, you know, with plant medicines, it's yeah, it is interesting. Hi, Sammy. I was doing the chakra tones the other day, and my friend's dog came and sat on me and was leaning into me. She loved it. That is a really, really awesome. Dogs, that is really cool. That is really cool, Sammy. I'm glad that you've had that experience. Dogs are very, very receptive to that. Animals are pretty dope creatures. And yeah, I'm very happy to hear that you are doing the chakra toning. Chakra toning definitely changed my life. It came to me several years ago now, but crazy things happened when I started working with the different tones of the chakras and the different sounds. Literally, like being able to open my heart, being able to speak my truth, and fixing my vision. Like I've shared this, but I used to wear glasses, and one day I had this idea that when I read, like I would often speak in public, and I would read in public, and I was just like, I wonder if I can read in the way that I do the vowel sounds here in the English language. If it was Sanskrit, it would be very different, or Siddic Sanskrit. But here, like, our vowels just aren't the same. And with each chakra, you have the sound of E, A, I, O, U, and those are the different sounds of those chakras. And so I thought, gosh, if I practice reading, can I make it seem like that I'm reading normal, but still at the same time toning their chakras? And so I was thinking about that. I'm reading this book, and next thing I know, my eyes like dart out on this one line, and it feels like it's like a football field away, and it's this most teeny line I could ever possibly imagine, but I could read it clear as day. And every part of me was like, don't stop reading. Like, I know this is weird, but don't stop. And so I didn't stop, and I just kept reading that line, doing the same thing. And when I got to the end, I'm like, am I supposed to keep going? And next thing I know, I'm like, okay, I'll keep going. And I change my position of my eyes and go to start the next line, and that line just darts right back. And everything appeared like not normal. Clear. Like all of a sudden, and for whatever reason, I wasn't wearing my glasses when I was doing this practice, which was strange, but I wasn't. And all of a sudden, this line was clear as day. And I was like, that's real weird. And I look up and I look around, and I'm like, oh my gosh, everything is so clear. And then Zachy goes, do you want to go get something to eat? And I'm like, yeah, let's go do that. And I'm like, not wanting to say anything, as I'm like seeing this new clear reality. And then we finally get a few blocks away, and I was like, God, I just got to say this. I don't want to hold it in anymore. And I was like, I think I might have just corrected my eyesight. And I told him what had happened, and I've never worn glasses since. So toning our chakras, doing these like awakenings and the yogic practices that are now so readily available for us, really can do things beyond our wildest imaginations. First of all, our imaginations really weren't trained very well with the schooling and the information that we got up to this point. So again, training our imaginations. Anything you can imagine is possible. If you can imagine it, it is possible. But how great is your imagination? And that's why getting back to creativity and creating our realities and creating what that view looks like and taking examples of the people that have existed before you and now and saying that's how I would like to be like, so that when you're presented with this cycle coming back up and, oh, Jane Doe over here is acting like a bitch again, instead of having that same kind of reaction, that same kind of judgment or whatever negative thing that it reacts inside of you, you're able to enact different and show up different, a better, higher version of yourself, because you've constructed it. You created that image in your mind and said, no, it would be like this. I'm going to try it different. And it is a series of trying things different again and again. But also when you find something works, that's another thing. Like, so often we'll find something and we're like, we do it for the 21 days and we're like, gosh, that was really great. It was working really good. And then once we're past that and we set that goal and we met it, we'll just stop doing it. Why do we stop doing it if it was working? We're like, So I highly recommend, when you find something that works, to not stop there, to keep going and not stop there for sure. I like that. And Sammy, oh, Patty, you said, oh, that is awesome, Patty. I'm so glad to hear that you do that with your dog. It was just such a cool experience to be able to learn about the chakras, or even like how my flute is harmonically toned and how animals like react to that and the power that they have. It's really, really, really awesome. I've been doing it most days. I had a blackbird join me a couple of days ago, chirping away as I changed each tone. Just beautiful. Oh my gosh, how cool is that? And they do. Like, nature loves to play with you if you play with nature. And when you're creating that beautiful, harmonically resonant music, you get really cool things like the birds coming and singing with you, man. The critters coming up going, what the heck is that? It's almost like, I don't know if you've ever seen those things, like playing music in the middle of the safari for monkeys that have never heard music before, and they come and they're like, what is that, that happens, man. That happens. There's so many, like I have so many stories about animals, like I wouldn't even, I would talk for days on those kinds of experiences. Breath work for sure, but I prefer up, down, down with the plants. What do you mean by that? Up, down, down with the plants. That is a very interesting terminology, and I know that you've worked with plant medicine a lot, Kevin. I'm very fascinated to hear what you mean by that. And breath work, yeah, for sure, Kevin. Breath work definitely changed my life. I've had the craziest psychedelic experiences just with my breath work. And I also say warning labels, like if you're driving down the street, be careful of the breath work, because you can transfer yourself into other dimensional realities with breath work. Breath work is also very psychedelic. And I would also speak to breath work for me. I've shared, I had a period of time where I went through a very deep depression and my anxiety was off the charts, and I began having non-epileptic seizures because I was just not breathing. I was just always at this state of just fear. And so I technically hyperventilate myself with that, and I'd end up having like 1 to 7 non-epileptic seizures a day. It was very difficult, like retarded my brain, like on so many aspects. And I learned about healing like the mind through that too. But breath work was crucial for my anxiety, and getting that oxygen down into my belly and rooting that breath work down absolutely changes the reality. If you are not breathing deeply, again, it is causing some emotional lenses to go into place so that you're not actually seeing the reality for what it is. You're not getting enough oxygen to the brain. So I share this on here, especially when it comes to anxieties. It's doing that box breathing. And there's many other, like Wim Hof teaches really great breath work as well. I teach courses on breath work to just kind of so interesting. Getting the breath in there, crucial. But box breathing especially is really that concept of taking a deep breath in. I like to start off with about 4 seconds with it. Really, when you start to do breathing, like even when I do like kind of like a lessons where you're just laying down and checking on how you're breathing, something so simple. I do kind of body awareness lessons where you lie down and you kind of check in with where you're at, and there's movement and a bunch of other really fun things. But when you do the breath, oftentimes when you bring the mind to the breath, you kind of get this, okay, how am I breathing? And so it's not accurate to right where you are. So when you first start out the box breathing, I think that it's very important to just start with a very easy number of breaths that you can get in and hold. It can feel also kind of claustrophobic if you're holding too long because you're not getting oxygen. So if you just start with 4 seconds of just breathing in and then breathing in 4 seconds, 1, 2, 3, 4, exhaling. Oh, wait, inhaling, holding for 4 seconds, 1, 2, 3, 4, exhaling, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold 1, 2, 3, 4, and you just start again. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, and you just go around and do several breaths of that. And once you get comfortable, you'll find that you could maybe get up to 12 seconds doing that or more than that. But it's just not panicking the body. You know, it's just meeting yourself there, calming yourself, especially when it comes to anxiety. But breath work, very psychedelic and very, very cool to work with. And again, I teach a lot of different meditations on breath work and go into some other planes with that. Love hearing about the blackbird. Yeah, I love hearing about that too. You had the void walker flyer coming in. Blackbird joined me during my full moon ceremony. I also had deer join me as I opened space and invited in the surrounding animals. So cool, Sammy. So rad. Bringing in the gentleness of the medicine of the deer. Deers are, very, very good medicine. Very gentle, good medicine to have in your reality as we awaken more and more into this new phase of the Lionsgate, this new portal that's just been opened to us. I did the ceremony in my local woodland. Cool. Ceremonies and full moon ceremonies out in nature, very, very powerful. I like to always recommend doing some Sufi dancing, some spirals while the full moon ceremonies come, and really spiraling that good energy out in what you want to create, and then also spiraling out what you would like to let go of for infinite life. Oh, up, up, down, down. Oh, wait. Is that what you were explaining, Kevin? Maybe we could talk later about the up, up, down, down. Oh, here you said it actually goes up, up, down, down, left, right, BA, select, start. I think you are giving us very, very deep information right here.
It's a video game code, yeah.
What?
It's a video game code that gives you 99 lives.
It's a video game code that gives you 99 lives. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Cool. Oh my gosh. Sometimes I swear, I'm like, I don't get what's going on. And then I get my answers right there. Oh, rad. So it gives you 99 lives. Our lives aren't too far off from video games. I totally changed my perspective on video games after really meeting Zach and learning deeply about them. I used to have like my own opinions, but I had very little knowledge of video games and what how much they can teach you about even like communicating with others. Oh gosh, the list goes on and on. Video games are pretty rad. I don't personally play video games. I do watch them, and I find it very fascinating to watch people learn the video games and navigate those different planes and different realities. It's pretty cool. I would speak very highly on video games now, as opposed to before. I would have said completely opposite. That's why I say question everything it is you believe. So Kevin, thank you for sharing the up, down, down, left, right, BA, select start. And I'll get 99 lives. I like it. Well, perhaps even getting more than that. I like to say I'm only one day old, as opposed to buying into the age that they tell us in the years that go by. I make reference, I guess, because the world does that. But pretty much I try and be like, no, man, I'm only one day old. I'm right now. I think that to be able to have a long, long life and not buying into age is a number, how long we actually get to have here. I've changed that a lot. So, rad, you guys, this is awesome. This is what I would like to do. I would like to do where we pull in, like do our meditation today. I'm trying to think if there's really much more I want to share before we start. Oh, hi, Jasmine. Nice to see you. Welcome. It's glad you could make it. We're just about to start and talk about the meditation. I want to bring in the lion for sure with our meditation today. And there was let's see if it will come back to me. No. Let's pull in the lion. And it's funny, I had this other animal that I'm like, oh yes, let's do that one. And as I went to talk about it, it wasn't there. So probably not. Let's see what the cards have to say. And then we can do a meditation with that. And I like to do that weekly one right now. Let's do what's helping us through this, what's where we're at now, and what hinders us. It's been very, very good draw for me. I like that, Patty. Oh, you saw dragonfly. Dragonflies are really, really rad, for sure. Okay. Oh, I know what I was going to say. It wasn't so much about, oh, I know. It was the dog star. It was the dog. I wanted to pull in the dog because of Sirius. Like if you look at the Lionsgate portal that is opened right now, and you even go to like the pyramids of Giza, you have like how the pyramids of Giza is like aligned with Orion. So I thought we could tap into Orion's energy today. The Syrian energy today, so bringing in the Syrian energy, which is, I think, 27 something, really huge, like much larger than the sun. Sirius is very powerful energy, but even the pyramids are aligned currently for what is happening in our world right now, as it being August 8th. And 8 again is, if you turn it sideways, you think of an infinite, but it is like, I think of more like the Ouroboros, the looping, not the Ouroboros where the snake is totally eating its tail. I mean the Ouroboros where it's not in its mouth all the way. This is showing the spiral that we're in, not the circle. And so 8 being infinite, bringing in the Ouroboros and that concept. It's just a really powerful time. Numbers mean a lot. And dragonflies are all over my backyard. Eat them up, all the mosquitoes. Cool. If you want to bring in any more critters into your meditations, you guys, seriously, bring in the dragonfly and the blackbird, I think, is a great one. But let's bring out currently what is helping us, what is hindering, where we're at now and what is hindering us. So here we go. The antelope. This is what is helping us. That's an interesting one. Like it, like it. And where we're at now, interesting, it came reverse. The eagle. Okay. And what is hindering us? Yeah, I've seen a lot of really rad critters this week. And it's an upside down hawk. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, so let's do this. Yeah, I have an orb weaver spider outside my door that every night, it's probably right now, weaving a new web outside my door. And then I got to see a grasshopper. It was probably this big, molting its skin. And I've never seen that in my life. And it was really, really, really cool to see. I kept the exoskeletal structure of that grasshopper. They literally, like, it was so amazing because the exoskeleton was so small in comparison to how big this grasshopper was. So he had very much outgrown his skin big time. And it will get to a point where they're just so compressed with their organs and all that it just has to pop. I don't know if any of you have seen that before, but it was really cool to witness. So let's start with the antelope, which is 37. Definitely saw lizards today, or lizards. I have these baby lizards all over. It's really fun to see. Okay, so it says antelope, run antelope, teach me of action and its pace. Quickly, quickly, so I may run with grace. And it's action, you guys. What is helping us is action. And it is taking action and focusing. When time was just beginning and the tribe of man was small, antelope saw that the two-leggeds were naked, hungry, and in danger of extinction. The ancestors would soon vanish from Mother Earth if action were not taken. Antelope took action and came into the camp, calling all the two-leggeds together for counsel. Great Mystery sent me to teach you a lesson. The lesson is to do. You have no need to be fearful. If you know what to do, then you do it, Antelope said. I like it. It made me think of that. Stop, check which one feels better, go that way. Feel what you're feeling, bring in the logic, then take the next step. And what shall we do? Asked the people. If you are naked and cold, you should kill me and take my coat to keep you warm. It is my gift to you. Do it. We will, said the people. But what of our hunger? We are starving. What can we do to save ourselves? If you are hungry, you should kill me and take my flesh, for it will nourish you and make you strong. It is my gift to you and a part of my evolution. It is my service. Do it. Antelope knew that humankind would survive the ice age if the people learned to eat meat. Before the movement of the great ice mountains, fruit and vegetables had been plentiful, and the two-leggeds had been no need to eat of the bodies of their fellow creatures. The clans of the second world ate antelope. Taking the instinct and wisdom of the four-leggeds into their bodies, the people learned through each creature's essence how to survive. They were taught never to waste or to take more than they needed. When they were in need, the two-leggeds knew to take action. Humans learned antelope's lessons well. Because of antelope, humans took proper actions and survived to this present day. Antelope taught humans to honor the gifts sent from Great Mystery and to avoid indiscriminate destruction of life. Antelope signifies knowledgeable action. Antelope is a symbol for the antenna of your hair, which attaches you to the great mystery by its long cords of light. Looking at antelope, you become aware of your mortality and the short time span you have on this planet. With this in mind, you must act accordingly. Proper action pleases the great mystery. Antelope medicine is the knowledge of life's circle. Knowing of death, antelope can truly live. Action is the key of essence of living. Antelope powers have been courted and shamanized since the dawn of time. Antelope clans have been many, and the power of antelope people is great. Antelope medicine gives you strength of mind and heart, and the ability to take quick and decisive action to get things accomplished. If you feel stymied, call on antelope medicine. If you are balled up and twisted in knots, antelope powers will speak to you of proper action and soon set you free. That's how it helps us, guys. So for this week, that is part of what we call in. Listen, and even more importantly, act. Surround yourself with the illumination and secret knowledge of antelope. Combine this with action, and you will overcome any obstacle or hindrance in your medicine. Think, Great Spirit. Say what should be said. Your judgment is sound, and your actions will be successful. Always listen to what antelope has to say to you. Antelopes in your cards indicates a message of higher purpose. Antelope arms you with a bow of authority and forces you to act on behalf of self, family, clan, nation, and finally, Mother Earth. Antelope says, do it now. Don't wait any longer. Antelope knows the way, and so do you. Take courage and leap. Your sense of timing is perfect. When antelope has bounded into your cards, the time is now, and the power is you. Dude, that is so awesome. That is so awesome. I love it because it is like with this Lionsgate portal opening and the power that is being manifested and ignited into it. It is connecting with the highest light versions of ourselves that we are right now in this moment, ever were, ever was, that is happening. Your future and your past are all residing in this present moment. So when we go into our Merkaba and we open that box, we set all the things that hold us back from the fear. And then we call in the antelope to help show and give us guidance of these actions. And open up that crystalline light, because that is what is flowing into this portal right now. The crystalline healing energy light that is you. This is the void. This is of all colors and no colors, all simultaneously. And that is your power ignited within. It's rad. It's rad, you guys. So cool. Eagle is card numero uno. So let's go and see what the eagle, where we are now. Eagle, fly high, touch Great Spirit, share your medicine, touch me, honor me, so that I may know you too. An eagle is spirit. So, not surprising. If you have pulled eagle in the reverse, which we did, you have forgotten your power and connectedness to the Great Spirit. You may have failed to recognize the light that is always available for those who seek illumination. Heal your broken wings with love. Loving yourself as you are loved by the Great Spirit is the lesson which the contrary eagle brings. On some level, eagle is telling you, seek higher ground on which to build your nest. The nest is the home of the heart and cannot remain in a swamp. Oh, I can just see the nest that we're going to make in our meditation with this eagle spirit. The nest is the home of the heart. We'll make the nest. It's already being made right now. I see it. If your nest is in a swamp, this may be connected to your belief that your wings are clipped by an impossibility in your present status. Eagle's nest is high in the mountains, where the air is clean and the movement free. It may be your time for a vision quest so that you can commune with the Great Spirit. Fasting and praying will surely bring an answer. Seek lofty ideals and illumination will be close at hand. Illuminate. Touch with the Spirit. I love it. I love it. I love it, you guys. So good. So, what I did. And then 2. 1, 2, 37. 37 was the card of the antelope, which is a 10. 1 and another 0. 1, 2, 1, 0. Interesting. 37. That is very powerful. Hawk is a messenger. You guys, this is what is hindering us right now. Hawk, messenger of the sky, circle my dreams and teach me the message as we fly. And again, this one was in the reverse. So if you have drawn Hawk reversed, it may be because you have shut down your powers of observation on some level. If something in your life has become too painful to feel, if something in your life has become too painful to feel, too unbelievable to hear, or too dark to see, it is time to examine the point at which you choose to let yourself become emotionally involved and to no longer be the observer. It's interesting, we talked about the observer today. When you allow your emotions to override your perceptions, the message from Hawk cannot penetrate the chaos and confusion. Wow. At this point, you are asked to be mindful of the honest observer's neutral position. And again, the observer is neutral. It's just neutral. It just is. It's observing, which allows the message to be intuitively and clearly understood without emotion coloring its true meaning. So we call in the crystalline light. Emotional coloring is a tendency of Hawk medicine. People, when they are off balance. Emotional coloring is a tendency of Hawk medicine people when they are off balance. Their emotions cloud their vision and lead to a crash landing. The ego can clip the wings and leave Hawk grounded. Also, if Hawk believes that those who cannot fly the same way he or she does have weaker perceptions, then the winged messenger has not understood his or her own medicine. Freedom of flight is a privilege, and being a messenger is an honor. The responsibility for delivery of the message is up to you. Take your flight and forget about interpreting the omen your own way. Let the receiver decide what the message means. After all, unless it was sent specifically for you, you would be tampering. Hawk in the contrary position teaches you, 1, to open up the powers of observation. 2, not to tell others how to think or behave. 3, to take care of your own emotional baggage before you begin receiving omens, visions, or messages. 4, to remember that all gifts are equal in the eyes of the Great Spirit. Dude, that is really, really awesome. Really awesome. I love it. Okay, so we have that. What I'm going to come over here and do is come over to 93, which is the dog. And we're going to, it's page 93. Read the information to that as we call in the Syrian energy. Dog, you are so noble until the bitter end. Your medicine is the teaching of true and loyal friends. And the dog medicine is loyalty. I'm not going to read all of dog medicine. I'm going to keep it where we know the dog is our best friend, and it's very, very powerful, and it's calling to us. Yeah. So loyalty for the dog. And the other one I want to call in is the lion, which is 17, which is page 105. And in my book, it's the mountain lion, but I like it. I like the concept of the mountain lion and its leadership. I'm going to read all of this one. Mountain lion, O kingly leader of sleek feline form, touch my heart with courage, then sound the alarm, that I may lead with foresight, assurance bright and true, to carry on the spirit of the strength I see in you. Mountain lion can be very difficult power totem for you to have because it places you in a position to be a target for the problems of others. You could be blamed for things going wrong or for always taking charge when others cannot. You could become the perfect justification for the insecurities of others. Mountain lion medicine involves lessons on the use of power and leadership. It is the ability to lead without insisting that others follow. It is the understanding that all beings are potential leaders in their own ways. The use and abuse of power in a position of influence are part of this great cat's medicine. By observing the graceful pounce of the mountain lion, you will learn how to balance power, intention, physical strength, and grace. This relates in human terms to the balance of body, mind, and spirit. The giant feline never wastes anything. It only kills what it needs for survival. The female lion is the hunter who graces her table in a style akin to mother energy. If mountain lion has come to you in dreams, it is time to stand on your convictions and lead yourself where your heart takes you. Others may choose to follow, and the lessons will multiply. If you have pulled the card of mountain lion, you may be asked to review the purpose behind your personal beliefs. You may need to discover whether or not your plans include a pride of cubs wanting to be like you or to share in your dreams. If you are already a leader, the question may be whether or not the time has come to push the cubs out of the cave. If you are aligned with cat medicine, you are considered to be the king of the mountain and never allowed to be human or vulnerable. The pitfalls are many, but the rewards are great. And in assuming the place of power that mountain lion affords, you must constantly be aware of keeping peace. However, you can never make everyone happy unless you lie to yourself or others. This is human nature. Therefore, the first responsibility of leadership is to tell the truth. Know it and live it, and your example will filter down to the tiniest cub in the pride. Responsibility is more than the ability to respond to any situation. Panic is not a part of this sacred medicine. Yeah, powerful cards, guys. Very powerful cards. What I would like to do, if you could just I'm debating whether I take one of my dogs outside right now because I feel like needs to go out. So if you can just give me 1 minute, I will be right back. It's only 1 second. Okay, I'm back. So, as we start, I always like to ask everyone, and especially if you're new to joining us, if you don't have any water, to get some water. Water is very powerful. 80 to 90% of every single one of our cells is made up of water, and it is bringing in our own construction of what we would like for our future. So I like to talk. I like to talk to the water, and I've learned that, again, all our words is a vibration and has its own geometry. So when you speak that into the water, just like you see with music and sound, it is manipulated and vibrates to that frequency. So if you could take a moment and grab some water, we're going to do and start this meditation. And I like to speak of self-love and abundance and joy and happiness and awakening the beautiful, powerful crystalline light inside and igniting it as we walk through this Lionsgate portal. So cheers to you. I'm going to drink some. And then, whenever you are ready, find a quiet place and take a seat or lie down, whichever is most comfortable for you. And we're going to come together. And we're going to begin by syncing our breaths. So let's just start out with seeing how we're breathing through our noses. We're going to breathe in through our nose and exhale through our nose. And if you find that maybe your sinuses are not making it as easy, imagine that you have wires coming out through your feet. And they're red wires going into the earth, grounding you into this space. Breathe in and out. And when you exhale, imagine the energy going out through your feet. Good. Beautiful. Now with your next inhalation, breathe in crystalline light. Imagine free-flowing crystalline light coming in through your nose, and breathe it down into your belly and hold it in this space and circle it around in this space. And when you're ready, exhalate any slough off any dense energy, negative energy out through your feet. Breathe in crystalline light into your belly and exhale exhale the dense energy out through your feet. Imagine it just flowing out into the earth. Here, the earth knows how to balance the good and bad and right and wrong. So give it to her. And breathe in and out. Beautiful. And now imagine above your head is right above your head, draw a triangle. And take the corners and edges of that triangle and connect it below your feet. And then below your feet, draw another triangle and connect the points of that triangle above your head. And place yourself and see yourself inside of this creation of your Merkaba. This is your safe space. In this space, only love will be spoken here. So, look off to the side and see that I've placed a box inside of your Merkaba. It's a big box with a very heavy lid. And walk over to that box and open up that lid. And inside this box, what I would like you to do is place in anything that no longer serves you. The things you don't like about yourself, your anger, your frustrations, your lack of powers, your self-criticisms, any negative energy goes inside of this box. And then take off that meat suit, that body, that image of that body, of that vessel, and place it inside of there too. You are more than your vessel. You are a great light being. Place that inside your body and any more negative things that you can think of. And when you're ready, shut that box. Shut it away. And if at any point you want to go back and retrieve anything, maybe you want to put that beautiful meat suit back on that you created, you can go back at any time and get it. But now, see yourself as that beautiful crystalline light. Bright, bright you. And sit yourself inside this space. And breathe in the love. Breathe in your beautiful intuition. Breathe in you that's far greater. Beautiful. Beautiful. Now above your head, there's a star cluster. Orion. Orion's belt in particular. Can you see it? Above your head, imagine a wiring system coming out through the crown of clear crystalline wires that helix just like your DNA. And take this and plug it in to your image of Orion. And breathe in. Breathe in Orion's energy down through your helix, down through your wires, down through your crown, down through your throat, and into your heart. In your heart is where we're going to create this beautiful next stage, this Lionsgate portal that is open for us now. Breathe in that energy. Thank you. Thank you. And by Orion is also the brightest star in the sky, Sirius, the dog star. Take more wires from your crown, your DNA strands, and connect them to Sirius. Beautiful. Beautiful. And breathe in the energy of that dog. Breathe in the beautiful, bright energy of Sirius. Down through your wires and down through your crown, oh loyal friend that exists within Sirius. Thank you. And breathe the dog and Sirius down through your mind, down through your throat, and into your heart. Dog, you are so noble until the bitter end. Your medicine is the teaching of a true and loyal friend. And breathe this dog into your space. Thank you. Thank you, loyal friend. Beautiful. And now, we're going to take more wires from that crown and call in the antelope. Oh, antelope of action. See the antelope in your mind's eye and take more of your DNA wiring system and connect it to the heart of this antelope that has come to help and has been here for a very long time. Run, antelope. Teach me of action and its pace. Quickly, quickly, so I may run with grace. Breathe in this antelope. This beautiful medicine of action. Down through your crown. Down into your third eye, into your mind. Cleansing that area so that you can see the next action that needs to be taken. Breathe in and clear those emotional lenses. Oh, what beautiful crystalline energy the antelope brings. And breathe the antelope down through your throat and down into your heart. And here is where you speak the next step of action, listening to your heart so that you may run with grace. So beautiful. And now it's time to build our nest. Calling in the eagle that soars over our head, the Great Spirit. Can you see the majestic eagle with its powerful spiritual energy? And take your wires from your crown and connect it to the heart of the eagle. Eagle, fly high. Touch, Great Spirit. Share your medicine. Touch me. Honor me. So that I may know you too. Breathe in the eagle. Down through your crown into your mind. Oh, Great Spirit, soar down through my throat into my heart. And here we build the great nest. The great nest where the antelope can be. And the energy of Orion can be built. And the power of the Syrian energy permeating within this space. Opening the Lionsgate portal within. And we call in the lion. And we call in. And breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. Breathe it in. Oh, breathe it in. Oh, the mountain lion bringing in your leadership. Mountain lion, O kingly leader of sleek feline form. Touch my heart with courage, then sound the alarm, that I may lead with foresight, assurance bright and true, to carry on the spirit of strength I see in you. And we have the lion. Connect your wires to the heart of the lion, because this is you, showing your great strength of leadership into your life. And breathe that lion down down through your crown into your mind, through your third eye and down your throat into your heart. And here you possess your leadership. So good and so strong. You are. And now we call the great spirit of the messenger that will glide us and guide us with what is hindering us in this space. See the hawk flying overhead and take more of your DNA wires, your beautiful crystalline wires, and connect it to your heart, to the heart of the hawk. Hawk messenger of the sky, circle my dreams and teach me the message as we fly. Breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. Circle around this beautiful, powerful energy of all of these critters and creatures and energy forms. Thank you for coming within this space. And breathe in through your nose. And breathe out the loving crystalline energy of all of this light while I play for you. You are love. You are all the power. You are the Great Spirit. You are the light. And you are the balancing point of that as well. You are grand. And you are beautiful. And you are a genius awakening that creativity inside. There is a portal opened. Take a conscious step with your right foot and step forward through it now. As we step through this portal together, hand in hand, heart in heart, mind in mind, we awaken to the new dawning of creativity, of fertility, of love, of light, of joy, of peace, of greatness. I love you. I'm grateful for you. Breathe in the beautiful crystalline light and exhalate it out into your toroidic field, out as far as you can imagine. Breathe out the love. Breathe it out as far as you can imagine, universally out into the galactic centers. And breathe it back into your vessel and ignite it into your belly. Ignite it into that space and circle it around and around. Circle it to the right and circle it up and out and back in. Beautiful work. Crossing into a new dimensional reality of the best version of you, of what you want to be. And you will act as if you have all the power and tools inside of you. You need only sharpen the tools, measure twice, and you cut once. Beautiful work. Now please take your right hand, your giving hand, and place it over your heart. Your heart is a receiver. You are a receiver. All information is at your hands. Flow it freely through you now. And take your left hand and place it over and receive it and circle it around within your space, giving and receiving with your right and your left. Breathe. Beautiful. Beautiful. Now come back to your space inside your Merkaba. Go back to your box. If you'd like to take anything out of it and put it back on, now is your time. Or you can keep whatever you want within that box with the lid shut tightly, allowing you to be and act as the highest, best version of you now in this new reality that you have created. Beautiful. Beautiful. Now please, with me, we're going to take our arms and wrap them around ourselves in an embrace of hug. I love you so much, and I am giving you the most ginormous hug right now within this space. We're having the biggest group hug together. I love you. Thank you so much for being here and exploring yourself and loving yourself Thank you to anyone that's new and joining us for the very first time. We are learning to heal ourselves, and doesn't it feel great? 20 seconds of an embrace releases a massive amount of oxytocin, which is the love hormone, into our system. And we're giving that to each other right now. There is no separation from where I am sitting and where you're sitting. We are connected. I love you. I love you. I love you. Please love yourself. Honor yourself, because you're worth it. You are so worth it. All right, guys. Well, that's about all the time I have. The Expanded Understanding show is up next here at 8 o'clock. If you enjoyed any part of this video, please like and subscribe to this channel and share it around so we can continue this massive awakening process in our whole realities and create together. Thank you guys so much for being here. I love you. Here's to higher vibrational reality now. And I will look forward to seeing you again next week. I'll keep you posted on all my upcoming events that are coming. Reach out if you need anything. I'm here, and I will see you very soon. Okay, love you guys. Goodbye.